Hi, welcome to Main Street Macro. I'm Neela Richardson. Economists have a saying that there's no such thing as a free lunch. And the reason why we say that is that items that actually look free may have a hidden cost. And that's for sure true when it comes to the easy money that Wall Street and Main Street have gotten accustomed to because of ultra low interest rate policy by the Federal Reserve. But while these borrowing costs may seem very almost free, all this cheap borrowing comes at three costs. One, it gives the Fed less room to maneuver. Interest rates have been low for over the past decade. That means during the pandemic, when the Fed wanted to cut interest rates to stimulate the economy, they could only cut them by 1.5 percentage points. To give you a point of reference, during the Great Recession, the Fed cut by 5 percentage points. The lower rates are in good times, the less able the Fed is to be effective when times turn sour, which leads us to the next cost of very cheap money, and that is bigger balance sheets. Over the pandemic, the Fed tried to really keep rates low, not only for the short term rates, where it's really effective, but also for more broadly to long term rates. And these are the rates that most consumers encounter when they purchase a home or a car. Over the course of the pandemic, the Fed actually purchased over $4 trillion in government bonds to help keep long-term rates low. That basically doubled its balance sheet to 8.3 trillion. The bigger the balance sheet, the harder it is for the Fed to disentangle its heavy-handed monetary policy from the economy, which leads us to the third cost of easy money, and that is the risk of a potential policy mistake. You see, the Federal Reserve would like to heat up its interest rates policy like a crock pot, not a microwave, low and slow. It would prefer to first reduce the size of its monthly bond purchases and then very slowly start hiking up interest rates over a matter of months or maybe even years. The spoiler, though, to this game plan is inflation. Inflation is well above normal levels, and though it's cooled off a bit, it still challenges the Fed and may force it to act more aggressively and hike rates sooner rather than later. The risk here is the Fed doesn't figure it out. It's Main Street who will have to pick up the check for all that easy money. Thanks for watching the Main Street Macro this week. For more on our insights on the week ahead, please go to adpri.org.